Pose, which is was back earlier this year in the US, but now the BBC's deal with FX means they can show it. They've put it on Saturday nights in double bills, which irritates me because, you know, they can get through it so quickly. And I don't. Is it all on the iPlayer though?
Yes.
They did. It is okay.
Yeah, I checked
Fair
before
enough.
we started because I'm
Okay. So this is the second series, which I've seen all of. I watched it sort of at US pace earlier this year. The difference now is we're into the year 1990, where AIDS is more prevalent within the community and is striking more down. There's a line where Billy Porter's character says at the beginning that he's been to, I think this is the 30th funeral I've been to in as many days or whatever. It just is rampant across the community. Also, Madonna's Vogue, the song is out, which references their culture, which makes them feel slightly more like that. Yes, slightly like that. Thank you. That you were listening to the 90 chart show before that.
Yeah.
So it makes them feel like they're more recognised as a community, and it's just more of what I loved about the first series, minus James Van Der Beek, which I didn't love about the first series. So I'm glad that he's gone. So.
Well, he's Dancing with the Stars now.
It's difficult for me to comment on this because I could just say.
Yeah, okay,
I just
so
adore it.
let me shut up then, and I'll comment on it.
We'll definitely be done by 1:15 because I'm already quite annoyed.
So yeah, for me, it sort of struck a sort of different chord, I suppose. They were setting up that this is a more sort of serious series. We entered the world in the first season. There was that opening scene where they were stealing all the gowns from the museum, and that was sort of to enter us into this sort of ballroom world and get a feel for the characters and things like that.
Yeah.
This is very much now with the characters. This is what's happening to them in, as you say, 1990. The opening sort of pre-credits scene is with Pray Tell, Billy Porter and Blanca visiting this sort of island, is it, where like all the unmarked graves are, and they write these stones for the people who, you know, can't afford funerals and things like that, and it's a really sort of shocking, stark scene. And there's less sort of glamour, I would say, just generally certainly in this first episode. Sandra Bernhardt, who was a sort
She's
of
brilliant in it.
recurring role in the first season. I think you saw her a couple of times as a nurse in an AIDS ward. She's here as a main character this season as part of the anti-AIDS movement. They sort of reel in a famous, I'm guessing it's famous, incident. They were protesting in a church during was it like an archdeacon or someone was giving us a mass, and they disrupted it basically. It's called Stop the Church, and the church's cover up of all the church's reasoning for the AIDS virus, I suppose. And the other story in this first episode was Angel questing to become a model, really, and getting a sort of pervy photographer to take her pictures.
Very creepy. I will say you've summed that up really well. I will say if what, and I'm not talking to you specifically, but if what you listening liked about Pose was the more outrageous and comedic elements of it, this first episode, although representative of the series as we go forward, there are some great. There's a particular episode later on where they go on holiday that is really properly funny and really tongue-in-cheek, and I really enjoyed. So although it's taking a more serious look at a serious subject, it hasn't lost its humour and its heart.
You know, and this was, an hour long, and it just sort of flew by for me. I think the only thing that I'm not a massive fan of is the Electra character. I don't like the actress. I don't feel she's that
I know what you
actress.
mean. Yeah. She gets taken down a peg or two and has an interesting story this year, that's all I'll say, which even I warmed to her a bit because I felt the same as you. She's sort of playing it larger than life, larger than anyone else in the story. It doesn't quite fit.
I feel as well, since the first season, I think they've put Billy Porter front and centre a lot more. In the first season, he was like certainly a supporting character in the first half of the season. His part sort of grew as it went on, but he's since obviously won the Emmy. He was nominated for a Golden Globe. He's just got a lot more press, and his face is on the poster of this season as well. And it feels like they've put Pray Tell more as sort of the main character alongside
that is definitely
Blanca.
the case.
And I suppose they needed something new to, now they've got rid of the straight characters, I suppose. James Van Der Beek and Evan Peters and Kate Mara and that sort of story, which was the weakest element of the first season.
Yeah, it's the bit I never remember. If I were to ever revisit it, I'd go, oh yeah, this bit where...
Yeah, James Van Der Beek was in. He was there at the Emmys, I saw him.
But yeah, I just really like it. And I know a lot of people won't be aware that it's even there. It's on Saturday nights, which seems weird, but as we always say, does that matter now? I don't think
you
so.
You can watch Strictly and you can turn, or The Wall. Is it on so I can finish The Wall and go straight to Pose?
Just get The Wall. Yeah, that seems right. That seems what Saturday night was made for. Just do that. I'll tell you another thing, though, is that sometimes even shows I love, when they've been away and come back, the first episode of a new series always takes me some time to get back into the rhythm. But with this, I was straight there. It's like no time had passed at all, even though we're in 1990 now. I just felt completely relaxed and was into it from the off.
Agree.
Suppose Saturday nights, like Matt says, perfect for after The Wall. If you've not banged your head against the wall during The Wall, then you can watch Pose.
It does feel a bit sort of, the sort of the Pose elements of it are, the ballroom elements are very Saturday night, as I say, like Strictly. And
I'm very happy that the BBC have this deal with that channel, FX. I just don't think they even know quite how to showcase, because they are great shows.
But how would you, I suppose?
I suppose I'd make it a night of the week for one thing, not just and then just say it's big USA drama night that night, and just say the next one is this, and really showcase it and tell people that it's won awards, because the average person isn't going to know that, and tell people that it's critically acclaimed and all that.
But how would you promote it? Because, like, for example, I don't watch any telly, so I wouldn't watch a
you're really not qualified to be on a telly podcast.
No. What I mean is, like, I don't watch telly on the telly, so I wouldn't see a trailer for it per se. But on the iPlayer, they do put them on, I suppose.
Yeah. How do you know what's on then? Is it because you've got the connection to the
You
website?
tell me. You tell me what to watch.
But otherwise, you'd be clueless, is what you just wouldn't know.
Well, I normally look at what you've put on the thing, or see what's on iPlayer, see what's on the previews.
But I'm talking to you like this is a foreign idea. You're not. Yeah. I'm not the norm. You're the norm. I mean, we talk about my brother-in-law and sister. They don't. They really only watch Netflix. Your brother's the same. I don't know how.
I sort of know what's coming up because of what I do here, and because I sort of tangentially link to you. I know when my favourites are coming, say, and you'll usually fill me in and say this is coming on. It's usually you. That's how I know.
Okay, so everybody needs a me, basically. That's what the website is.
An annoying
to answer your question, I don't know.
By TV.
To answer your question, I don't know how you promote it to people who aren't already watching.
I think they are hard shows to promote as well, like Pose, Better Things.
They're hard sells on paper, I would say. They're hard shows on paper.
Burden. What was the Mayans thing?
American Crime Story. All those. Okay, so that's Pose. You know it's on now. Saturday night it's on BBC Two in double bills. Or as Matt says, all there on the iPlayer. Is Series 1 there still?
Yes.
Probably it is. So you can watch the whole lot.